Welcome back to my channel where I just show an endless stream of defeated poverty. Not that I defeated poverty, but poverty has pretty much defeated me. What's so funny about that? Anyway, I found these name brand shoes, which I would never wear really, unless I was like that Walmart-y desperate. Look how ragged these. I didn't even totally wear out the sole. My living expertise says that even though the first layer is pretty much peeling away now, that this secondary cushiony layer, which is not really the sole of the shoe per se, can last a while longer. And yes, they're full of punctures, like little bits of metal and glass embedded in there. Why don't you wear steel-toed boots? Because typically sports shoes or gym shoes or whatever you want to call them don't have a beveled edge that sticks out like work boots do. They have, as part of the sole, it sticks out about 1/4 of an inch or more. And when I'm driving, that edge gets caught under the brake pedal for a nanosecond. When I'm going to, look how dirty these socks are because of that shoe. So when I'm going from the gas pedal and then over with my foot, the edge of the boot gets caught for a nanosecond under the brake pedal, which could actually be a life-threatening situation. These are size 13, which is a little bigger than what I've been using. I don't even know what size. Looks like an 11 or something. Don't you buy your own shoes? The size varies depending on where I bought the shoes. Those are Walmart ones, obviously. And the padded part peeled away, I don't know, a couple of months ago and fell out. The thing about the Nikes is, I don't know, these are more like performance shoes for like probably running. Maybe, I don't know. And for some reason, the cheap Walmart shoes have, when they're new, they have a better cushiony. I know there's the Dr. Scholl's gel inserts that they don't work for me. What happens is, I don't know, when I'm like crawling around and bending my foot and just whatever it is I do, the gel insert fitted properly in the shoe always ends up getting crinkled and bunched, and yeah, it doesn't work. All of the elixirs in life, so to speak, do not apply to the king. All the things that you could take, all the remedies and workarounds. It's cheaper to eat at home. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. It can be. But then again, it might not be. If you do the Freakonomics and you add all of the factors that you can think of, maybe even including health, okay? If you add in all of the factors, if you get the 2 for, deal at McDonald's, like 2 breakfast sandwiches, the cheap ones. So that would be 2 muffins, 2 sausage muffins, no egg, nothing, just sausage and a piece of cheese. It's 2 of them for $3.78. So that's like, I don't know, less than $2. That's with tax. That's less than $2 each. So you're going to go to the store, get out of the car, search a deal at a grocery store, find the appropriate sausage type to make that type of sandwich, and get all the other accoutrements that are required to make said sandwich. The electricity and the natural gas, the electricity required to keep the food products refrigerated over a period of time until said food is completely consumed. You're actually money behind because of all the time it took, including that potentially productive time that you spent cooking the food for yourself. Never mind, if you have a family, you run the risk of needing to become the chef and cook for other people. That's part of having a family. Well, when it's a house full of adults, basically it's Lord of the Flies. You're on your own. Yeah, like how my old man used to be. He was a real fucker. When I was a kid and I'd crap in the dunny. That's Australian slang for a toilet. I just think that the slang word for a toilet is funnier than the loo. Or just American, which is pretty much, we just call it a toilet or a crapper or a john, whatever. I would end up clogging the dunny because I would use exceeding wads of Charmin toilet paper, which is extra absorbent. And not only is it extra absorbent of said human waste, but also of the water itself. And talk about stuffing the musket. That thing would get clogged. It was a wall mount toilet. My old man was a plumber, and he thought that the wall mount toilet, which you don't see many of them anymore, they're actually hung and mounted on the wall. So there is no toilet base on the floor. Well, let me tell you, the wall-mounted toilets really suck because the water flow just doesn't have the oomph to move that mountain and push it down through. You have to be like a revolutionary American pioneer and pretend that you're fighting the redcoats and get that toilet plunger and stuff the musket. As a kid, I would be doing that. I would be pantomiming being an early settler, and I'm fighting the British, and I'm stuffing the musket. And my old man would get pissed off, and he'd be like, "Go shit out in the yard like a dog, clogging my toilet." And as a 10-year-old, I'd end up in a FU fight with the old man. And I would end up needing to grab a blanket and head down the alley, a few doors down, crying. Typically raining, city of Chicago. And go over to my babysitter's house, and they would let me sleep in their enclosed, screened-in back porch area for the night because they knew the routine. is being thrown out of the house for whatever said transgression. King, why do you hold on to, this my wife says, why do you hold on to all those negative memories? You know, I can't throw these away, though. I'm going to save them because, you know, if these, like, because they're used shoes, and if sometimes people's, like, walking gait is weird and different than mine, which is weird and different on its own, they end up, like, the strain or something like that ends up transmissioning through my legs or whatever and into my back and all that, because it, like, throws me off kilter a little bit. That doesn't make sense, I'm sure, to you guys, but whatever. So that's why, you know, people are, go to the thrift store and buy shoes from, like, Goodwill, used shoes and dead man's pants that cost just as much as some brand new crummy clothes sold at Walmart. So why not just buy the cheap Chinese food, cheap Chinese made clothing that is brand new? Rather buy the brand new Chinese clothing than go to the thrift store and pay just as much, if not more, for the used Chinese clothing, which usually turns out to be kind of a bummer. So the landlord hired a scrapper to go and cut up trailers and, I don't know, abandoned vehicles on the property. So I'm going to need to get a lawyer or something. I'm always trying to get that thing started. Yeah, I didn't even tie the shoes. I'll get around to it maybe. I think it's been sitting there forever. These guys would not sell it to me. Wow, you got it running, huh? You got it running? It sounds good, actually. Motherfuckers wouldn't sell this to me. Motherfuckers would not sell it to me. 243,000. Not bad. How much you getting it for?
1,100.
Huh?
1,100.
1,100?
Yep.
Man, then they were holding on to it. They wouldn't sell this thing.
No?
Nope.
But you don't need it.
Huh?
You don't need it.
You think I don't need it, but
You got
that one needs some work. I don't know if you know how to work on that.
Well, what do you need?
It needs a brake line.
Brake lines?
Brake line, yeah. I have to go and buy a caliper for it, but after that it needs two brake lines. It needs one on each side. Huh?
You gonna make it or you gonna order?
I'm not gonna. I got a coil of the brake line, but after that it has to be made. Cause, yeah. I already have that brake line.
Oh, okay.
I have to get the brake caliper. Do you know how to fix?
Nah, not really.
No, not really, huh?
No.
Well, how did you get this running if you don't know how to fix?
Oh, just the battery.
Huh?
Replace the battery.
That's it? This battery looks like it was stolen from the compound. 922. Never start. Oh, not bad. And there you go. That's because you're a loser, King. Yeah, you got that right. You just heard it from the horse's mouth right there. That fucker is lying. Like that battery looks like it was lifted from somewhere around here because I had this thing. I fired it up, and then the battery completely conked out. You heard it from that fucker's mouth just now. Those motherfuckers would not sell. They would not sell me that. I've asked for that truck, and then, well, you got a bunch over there. Fuck you, dude. That's what I mean. Like, fucking people have a communist mentality. Like, you know, they count how many you have. How many eggs do you have in your basket? How many gold coins do you have? You have enough. You don't know my fucking situation, dude. Anyway, that's a bunch of bullshit. So anytime y'all hear like me going, well, you know, King, why don't you got that thing running? Yeah, but there's more to it than that. There's more to my story than I ever tell. Grandma's Boy. Never even heard of that movie. The collapse of the kingdom continues, so I got rid of... What the hell? Let's knock this thing down a little bit here. Squawk box. So, if so many things happen in life, they get me seething. I can't really react to it very much. That's why I have a reason for everything. That's why, I don't know, since a little kid, I'm not really impressed by anything. Nothing makes me go, wow, look at that. I'm just like, yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. So, if you're trying to do something and make me go, wow, I'm not. I'm not for, like, that reason that you just seen and many others. I'm just like, yeah, okay. I'm just not impressed. I am actually, there are a few things that actually do impress me, kind of, a little bit, and that would be Bert from Scrap Farm. I don't know, like just something about the way the dude gets things done. I imagine myself as like possibly being able to do it, but I never am able to do that for whatever reason. I don't know if this is steel or aluminum. We'll put it in the imaginary aluminum pile. I'm sure having ADHD, etc., plays a huge factor in a lot of my failures, but yeah. So, you know, the landlord plays favorites, obviously, too, but that truck does not belong to the landlord. That belongs to that truck shop on the corner. And the owners of that truck shop, for years and years, we can't find the title. Bull crap. You wouldn't have that thing, you would take it apart. If you didn't have the title, you would have got rid of it a long time ago, just for the scrap value. Nope. King, you could go to the auction, and I don't know anything about it. And at 62, I'm not going to bother learning. I'm done. I'm done with a lot of things. I'm done. You know how, like, I don't know, there's like videos of Gen Zers that are, you know, before they even have gotten really started in life, they're already giving up. I've kind of always had, and maybe that was my original downfall, a sort of like a Gen Z type of attitude, a Zoomer, towards a lot of things, like, I don't know, kind of like a doom and gloom type of thing. Or I was watching this one Gen Zer going, oh, well, I'm a millennial and I'm watching everything crash and burn and just laughing about it. They're talking about the current state of the world and the economy. That's coming out of the mouths of people that are probably just as screwed up in the head as me. And now my youngest daughter, who was doing pretty good working at the same company my other daughter is working at, succumbs to peer pressure. You know, our friends all don't have jobs because they're not really interested in working. And they kept peer pressuring my youngest who, oh, what are you wasting your life for? All you do is work, and then you go home and sleep, and you work overnights, and then you come home and you're too tired and the summer is coming, and you want to spend another summer doing the same thing. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, so it finally got to her. After a year and a half, the peer pressure finally got to her head, and she put in her 2 weeks. And I did not argue with her one bit. She's 19 years old. I guess that makes her an adult. She could fuck up like the rest of them. I could give two shits, really. When I told my wife that, she's like, "You're wrong." I'm like, oh well, let me be wrong. You're wrong for saying that. You shouldn't say anything. I'm like, I just did. Well, so these are the steel bars that I got really long time ago, like 8 years ago, that I wanted to make a car rack from. Do it yourself, like drive on, like stackable car rack, like one on the bottom and one on top. No electric motors or anything like that. No, just a solid stationary rack for one car on the floor, another one next to it on the floor, and another one above that one, and another one alongside it. So like 4 cars, one on top of each other, one on the floor and one above it. And it's one of those projects that I've been wanting to do forever, and I still haven't gotten around to doing it. Look at all this other stuff that I've forgotten about. I no longer need, I guess. Radio, clock, all stuff that I was going to set up, but I never did because this is rented space, and you can't really imagine all the time wasted. I don't know. Never mind. Nobody agrees with me. I just see it as like there's no permanence to it, so like why bother making it into a true man cave? Like I saved all these failed garage sale picture frames like that, thinking that me and my wife, or my wife would like them enough where like she would be motivated to put family photos, etc., or whatever, or just hang them as paintings in the house to decorate, and that never happened, so they're just going to the junkyard like everything else. Fuck it. There are no dreams, so anybody making claims like living the dream, you're full of shit. This reminds me of, there's a commenter, I was watching Bob from Gill Skills. He's got like a scale on the floor, and he's, I don't know, bending over to put something on the scale or take it off, and somebody commented, "The floor is getting further and further away." Wow. I'm not sure if that was like a kind of like a backhanded sort of compliment, kind of fun making, or you should open it up because there's a copper transformer in there. No, there isn't. There's an aluminum transformer in there. This thing is made in China. Come on, guys. What are you forgetting where it was made? Maybe if it was made in America out of like steel and quality. would be made out of copper. But no, that's cheap, poorly made. One droppy and the thing just completely came apart. The Chinese military be like, right? No, never laugh at your potential enemy because they will surprise you. And that's the part that could be deadly. We'll test it anyway, you know how YouTube is. With whatever we have on the fly to test something with. Because I wasn't planning on making a video testing a transformer. That, my friends, is aluminum. Sometimes one coil is aluminum and the other one is copper. I've gotten that wisdom from some commenters, rightfully so. But that one is also aluminum. What? It looks like copper to me. Okay. There's no convincing. That's all the convincing I can do. After that, you're on your own. Got all that out. Get that for the aluminum. Scrap those fridges. I'll bundle all this wire, this mess right here. Finish cutting up that cab. That fridge works. It's going to the scrapyard though. It's all got to go. It's all going to the junkyard. It's all going to the same place. I might save a couple of the best toolboxes, but the rest are going to the junkyard too. This tin box. There's not time to like list this shit and sell it. This thing that I was saving. That's going to the junkyard. There's no place to put it. I'm not renting another place. First of all, I can't find another one that would be suitable to my needs. It's got to be reasonably close to home. It's got to have enough space for me to operate. I don't know. It's got to be cheap. And that's not happening. So, permanently out of business. Permanently. Did I say permanently? I did. What are you going to do? Honestly, I've told the wife what I'm going to do, and she gets pissed off. I told her I'm going to get a cardboard sign, and I'm going to stand on the fucking corner. Because at 62, I have no skills. Okay? And I'm basically unemployable because I cannot... I cannot follow directions. Not entirely because I don't want to. It's when a boss man goes, go do that, and that, and then somewhere along the way, or whatever, I bump into something or I get distracted by something or somebody else starts talking to me or a boss below that one tells me, hey, what are you doing? Or, I have a squirrel moment. I'm looking up at something and the employer sees me staring off into space. And that's pretty much the end of this guy. It's over with. Been there, done that a bazillion times, not doing it again. Because the income, would be very temporary. Well, if you take meds for ADHD, it's not that. Just it's other things that are going on in the noggin there, and especially working for $10 an hour. I'm not doing it. I'd rather be homeless and live in my truck again. Honestly. Fuck it. Why bother? Why bother? Like, if I'm gonna bother, there has to be an incentive. So what's in it for me? Not a damn thing. There ain't nothing in it for me. Nothing.